welcome to Grossly Competent, the learning, development, and adulting podcast that doesn't claim to be pretty, but we will happily pretend to be slightly competent. I'm your host, Steve Council, and I'm joined by my co-host, the model used for all Mr. Yuck stickers, Mr. Patrick Galeshire.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you very much.
But
That's
Stephen Cornelius.
Awesome. Oh, yes, please.
Your ideas to me are like beta software.
Okay.
Interesting, unstable, and not ready for release.
I agree. I agree. Because sometimes I think things and I go, that wasn't wise. But you know what? That's okay, because that's what this is all about. We're all about learning and growing and developing and all that fun stuff. So, your
brain, your body and your brain updates has a iOS release more often than it should, or a Samsung release. And maybe we're not quite ready to put that one out there in the world. But hey, you're here and you're trying.
The nice thing about Samsung is they don't care if it's ready for release into the world, because they'll release that update and then they're like, oh, does that make your system crash? Well, well, that's all right. If you can't tell, listeners, I am a faithful Androider. I know I receive lots of rolled eyes and iPhone this. Ooh. That's fine. You guys have
green bubbles are gross.
Yeah, well, you know what? I like adult things, and if you guys like playing with children's toys, that's fine. That's your prerogative. It's fine. Says the guy that like doesn't do the customizing or anything. I'm just like, yeah. All right. Anyway. I assume, Mr. Patrick, not only do we have a fantastic show lined up, we probably have like a really cool sponsor of the week, right?
We do. This episode is sponsored by scheduling fatigue.
Ooh.
The exhaustion that comes from agreeing to plans you already regret. Whether it's coffee next week or a wedding in 2027, scheduling fatigue reminds you that free time is theoretical. Scheduling fatigue, because calendars are emotional now.
Wow, thanks, big scheduling fatigue. Patrick, you and I are still, I believe, just shy of a year older than I, so we're the same age.
Yeah.
Are you out of the weddings constantly in the summer stage?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Not that I have anything against true love, because my goodness. But boy, yeah, that takes a toll. It takes a toll when there's like 4 to 5 weddings in a 4-5 month time frame. You're like, oh gosh, like it's whiplash. So yeah, that scheduling fatigue, it's the truth. But I'm happy to be out of that.
I think even in general though, with just life that goes on with the after work things or the social events, and that whole, like, for me, it's when the social battery starts to run low. It's like, okay, I need to Irish this whole week, really. Irish goodbye this week.
Yes.
Real quick.
I remember this was probably about like a year or so ago. I was on vacation and my sister, she sent me a text. This is easily 2 years ago. Yes, because my oldest niece was a senior in high school at the time. And she sent me a text saying that she was on like Honor Society. And I'm like, wow, that's super cool. And she showed me a picture of like them at like the dinner event. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. So cool. And I was like, hey, do you have a moment to talk? And she said, no, we actually just left that. we're going to a quick moment of, they have 3 daughters, going to another one of their daughters' game, like it was like a baseball game, and then we're going to leave that and go to the orchestra concert of our youngest. I was like,
Ooh.
I don't, and this is constant in their lives, like just constant like activities. So then my response was, I don't know how you do it. And I think some of you out there may find this humorous. I thought it was funny. Just very simple. Her response was margaritas and taco dip. It's like, okay, that's good for you. If that is what you need to fuel the engine, because she is always on the go, man, it works. So, folks, if you're looking for the fountain of youth, it is margaritas and taco dip. There you go.
In my instance, what I do is when I'm let's say it's at work and I'm like ready to wind down the day, or I am out somewhere and I'm ready to get back home, I generally like to think of what I've been watching on streaming services and say like,
really,
I can't wait to get home and whip out another episode of XYZ.
No, the OA, perhaps.
You know what? I may or may not have started that last night.
Oh, it's just like that Michael Scott from The Office meme of I'm ready to get hurt again.
Yes, I was gonna say I can't wait to get let down.
I can't wait, listeners. When Patrick told me that off, I don't know what you'd call it, off air.
Yeah.
I was going to say off site. I'm like, that's not correct. When Patrick told me that off air, my response to him was, oh my God, when you get to that final episode, after it's done, I demand a text. I need your unfiltered opinion exactly in that moment. So I think you definitely owe our fans that. You need to do that so then I can relay and you can tell me like what your thoughts were. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is so fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, man. So should we dive into this week's topic?
Let's do it.
Well, Patrick, I am sad to report that I have received more unsolicited sales pitches via LinkedIn. And have you ever seen The Green Mile?
I have, yes.
Okay. John Coffey.
Yep.
He's infamous for saying, I'm tired, boss. And that's me too. And I'm judging based off of some of the texts that I've recently received from you that you are in a similar boat. Would you agree?
You know, Steve, I love all of our listeners, but we might...
Yeah, me too. I do too.
We might have a mole amongst us. No, of course not. But I think that somehow some LinkedIn douchebags have really ramped up their DM efforts lately. I had another doozy, and I regretted hitting that accept button yet again.
Yeah, same. Like dude, it's so tiring. It's so like, so on this note, have you ever heard of the reverse scammers? There's like an entire sect of individuals that will make like YouTube videos. I bet they probably do like, what is it, Twitch? That's like the streaming thingy, right? Like, I think they do that stuff too. Like, are you familiar with this whole thing? Like, what a reverse scammer is?
I understand the concept. I haven't really read on this. I do remember reading something, I think it was on Reddit over the summer, so 6-7 months ago, and it was a guy had posted, I think it was a text conversation that went on way too long, but he had someone that was actually a scammer, like legit, not a bot, and he was talking to this person I mean, for like, it went on for like a day or two of,
awesome.
and it was the funniest thing that, like, the guy wanted the money sent, and the other individual.
Oh, I swear I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know all specifics, but it was very, very comical.
So if you're not familiar, listeners, like what I'm referring to as a reverse scammers, like there are people that professionally do this. Like their whole intent is to expose scam rings and to waste the time of these individuals. Like there's one person in specific, I believe his YouTube channel or his name goes by Kitboga, Kitboga, and you can always tell he like is always wearing like aviator sunglasses, and you might initially go like, oh my god, what a knob. But I love this guy's whole mission, and his whole thought process is the longer I can keep one of these scam artists on the phone or like entrenched in email or whatever, is that less of time that they're doing it to somebody's grandmother or grandfather or something like that.
Yeah.
And they have all these resources. Like it's I've gone down this rabbit hole maybe every 6 to 8 months. It's just kind of like I wonder what's going on in that world. And then it's like a whole day I'm just like, whoa, just fall right in. So I say that because I feel like we need to take a page out of their book and teach these LinkedIn scamming, cold sales, pitching douche nozzles. We need to teach them a lesson. Like, I don't know. I guess I look at it as like some of you out there might once again be yelling at your radio or your speaker going like, dude, you don't need to be on that platform. And while you're right, I do still believe that it holds a professional acumen to like you. It's important for certain individuals in their professions to have access to this platform. And if what's happening to LinkedIn right now or has been can happen there, it can happen to your TikTok. It can happen to Instagram. It's already happened on Facebook. Let's be honest. Like Facebook is different from 2008 than it is from the current day.
Yep.
Right? So I think we need to come up with a strategy that we all abide by, that when these people just shoot us their little friend requests and we accept it, and then they just decide to hold our inbox hostage, we need to have a way to combat that.
Yeah, I like it. I do think that as far as the social media platforms now, of course, they're all different in their own way, but LinkedIn is definitely the worst for me. Aside from your spam email, texts, and calls that we get, those are easy enough to ignore for the most part. But LinkedIn is especially annoying for me just due to its nature of being a quote unquote professional networking platform.
Yeah.
It gets tricky because sometimes you really don't know if someone's or you don't know someone's intentions until you friended them.
Yes.
And then they hit you up in the inbox, say, oh, hey, by the way, like this woman the other day was like, I wrote a book, and here's all about it if you want to learn more. And there was all these like typos and things. I'm like, are you sure you wrote the book? Just like, I don't know if you should be an author. You can't spell very well.
I is our author.
Yeah. And so, but I have to tell you, I want to jump on this whole like spam thing quick.
Yes.
So
please do.
I just do this to humor myself, essentially, no one else. It only got awkward one time, and you'll get to that point in a second. I'll get to that point in a second.
Okay.
So,
love it.
You know how at some point these robocalls are running out of numbers because they call everyone and they change the number on you and they keep calling your phone, right? But I have everything like essentially a filter on mine, so they get blocked and rerouted or whatever.
Yep.
However, I noticed about almost a year ago now that they are now calling elevators. So in my apartment complex, every couple days, a robocall comes through the elevator phone. So it's like on speaker.
What?
It's on speaker, and it's Medicaid calling, and they're calling whoever, saying, and it's a blanket message. It starts with a bot. It rings, and then it goes. It basically tells you about the new health benefits that were just passed in the government, and then it ends with, "How old are you?" And so when I'm in the elevator alone, I only have X amount of floors to get this call, and
Sure.
I rarely have been able to finish, but I basically say I'm either 68 or 72, just so I know they're going to continue on. Because if you say under 65, they're gonna hang up the call.
Yeah.
So then what happens is when you tell your age over 65, they route you to someone else, a live person, and they try to. And then I'll ask questions like, "How did you know it was me?" And then they hang up. Or I say, when would you like my social security number? And they say, we'll get to that. Okay. So I like to joke around that I have ordered Medicare for my apartment complex on like multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Just, we are covered. But what happened was this one time someone got in the elevator. It was on the way down and I was still on the call. And so they just looked at me and they said, "Are you talking to the elevator?" I said, "Yeah, I'm I'm calling Medicaid here. Just sell down."
Yeah.
So it was so funny. They kind of just laughed. They're like, amazing.
Insane.
Yeah. So they've run out of personal numbers to call, and now they're calling the local elevator.
Just calling inanimate objects, like, well, maybe they'll answer. And then we have Patrick that's like, got it, I'll answer. Good Lord. You know what? I'm going to put your cold messaging LinkedIn dude, like, they're on the same page. Like, that is exactly the same thing. And I am just so tired of these people. I'm so tired of it. And you said that, yes, like, they're on every platform and whatnot. LinkedIn is the worst, though. It is the absolute worst. It's tough because you friend somebody, or you connect, you connect with somebody with the hopes of like, oh, well, maybe I'll learn more about this person or whatever. And then they're like, haha, like you're at a party and you start talking to somebody, just kind of ancillary, like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, hey, cool. We have a shared interest. Hey, we should go talk more about it. You're like, oh, that sounds cool. Mm-hmm. And then they walk you into a room, they lock the door, and they're like, hey, you want a timeshare? Like, what? No, God,
I didn't know where that story was going with that.
Yeah,
locking the door. And
honestly, I kind of feel like that sometimes. Like, God, what in the hell? Like, it just, I don't know. So my proposal to our listeners and to you, Mr. Patrick, is that we have a unified front in how we address these spammers, because that is what they are. They are spamming, and they're clogging the system. So my thought is, just like your reverse scammers, is to use that clot and that clogging against the systems that they work with. So in this case, if you ever get somebody like that, that's, hey, you want to connect and blah, blah, you're like, sure, happily, let's connect. And when they take that instant moment to be like, hey, I'm going to sell you something, I actually wrote up a script. I wrote up a script.
Of course you did.
And I will share it with all of you fine folks out there. So you don't even have to waste the time writing. You just copy, paste, send, and then you go and you report them as spam. Or if you feel extra special, you could list them as abusive or something, whatever strikes your fancy. But the fact is, like, I know, for example, on LinkedIn, if you do that, there's an option for you to request like information as the investigation continues. And if you click that, that means they will update you with like what they discover.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, they're like, we found this person was, they're not a bot. And it's like, great, I don't care. I'm going to report them again. Great. So here it is. Like, that's my thought. So if you get somebody, they connect with you and they tend to be some bullshit scammer, you can copy and paste what I'm about to read to you, pop it right into there, hit send, go to those 3 little dots, report them, block them, report them as whatever you so desire, as long as it's negative. Ask that somebody follows up with you, and that way you're wasting valuable resources on the end of that social platform. And my hope is that after a while, those platforms get so sick and tired of it that they're like, we should maybe have a stopgap here. Yeah, I think you should. So you want to hear my script?
Please, I'm intrigued.
And honest to God, I sent this to somebody. So hello out there. If you happen to have received this, you are one of the many, many fun folks that are going to start this tradition. Hello. Insert name. So this is your opportunity to insert their name. I am disappointed. Why is it every time someone connects with someone on this platform, one party believes that is an open invitation to become a pop-up advertisement? It genuinely ruins the true intent of connection as a means to collaborate and learn more from one another. Instead of this being a connection that is housed in mutual respect, it becomes a predator versus prey system. In a word, no thanks, and I'll go ahead and remove the connection, drop the follow, and report this as spam, which it is. Regards,
Stephen Cornelius.
Yeah, and then you actually have to write your name or just like your first initial. I don't care, do whatever. But that is my nice, very professional way of saying, get
Stop
dunked.
it. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Get out of here.
How long do we let that sit so they get a chance to see your response before we report?
Oh, that's a good question.
Let that kind of marinate a little bit, or
I haven't tested this. What I've been doing is I will send it, wait like 5 minutes, and then I report them.
Okay.
I don't wait very long because I don't know if it necessarily removes it from their end. Does it?
I don't know. That's something
I don't know. Like, for example, if I block you, Patrick, on LinkedIn, not that I would ever do such a thing, but if I was going to, I don't believe that you get an alert that I did it. Because it's supposed to be like, not anonymous, secretive, but yeah, right. Like, I don't know, like subliminal, like, I don't want you to like be mad that I took you off, like that kind of thing. I don't know. Well, but that's a great question.
So you didn't block me?
Hell no. No, I stalk you.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
and
great,
actually,
great.
The good thing is
how do you unblock someone?
There is a way to do it. Actually, I have done it. But the good thing is when you do unblock me, I do have something to talk to you about. I have an opportunity that you just will kick yourself if you miss it. So yeah,
perfect.
It's a book. I wrote a book. So anyway,
great.
Yeah. All right, let me get back off my soapbox. I just could not help myself, but oh god. All right.
I like your letter.
Thank you so much.
It's direct. It's straight to the point.
Pisses me off, I swear to God.
What should we chat about today?
Nothing. I thought we did already. We're good, right? No.
Well, folks, it's been fun. We'll see you next time.
No, I think we should get into our. You know what? It's funny. It's now that I'm kind of thinking back to it. You'll hear it on the when you go back to edit. But I think I said that what we just talked about was the topic of the week, and that's a lie. That's not. That was just me grandstanding on my soapbox. What we're about to talk about now is our topic of the week.
we got to have some little cool noise for that.
So today I thought we would talk about something that's actually interestingly in direct contradiction of what I just ranted about. Recently I hosted a leadership development course at work, which focused on like a series of different competencies, but one of which that I would like to talk about today is emotional intelligence. Now, Patrick, I know you are aware of emotional intelligence, and I was hoping you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about that and maybe giving our listeners a little bit of a foundation into what that is.
I would love to.
Yay.
So, listeners, emotional intelligence, which is also known, many may not know this, as EQ, which stands for emotional quotient.
Oh, I thought that was like the sound people make when they see my face.
EQ. We didn't want to talk about that, but yes, that's more
terrible.
That's more the vomit sound.
I'm sorry. You continue. You're doing lovely.
EQ is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and use your own emotions positively, while also empathizing with others to communicate effectively, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. What I really like about EI is that it's a learnable, essential life skill that impacts both personal and professional success, which revolves around self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Steve, as you're aware, there is a lot that goes into emotional intelligence, and which I can vouch for as someone who just completed a 12-week certification program through Daniel Goleman.
Congrats to you, good sir.
Thank you. However, to not bore everyone to death and make this a 7-hour episode, I'm going to just stick with the 5 main components. And I did list them just a moment ago, but I'm going to just give you a quick little definition of those. So you have self-awareness, and that is the ability to recognize your own emotions as they happen, which helps you understand your triggers, your strengths, and then your weaknesses. This is such an important skill to have.
Yeah.
You then have your self-regulation, which is managing your emotions and impulses, pausing before reacting to situations, which allows you to choose a healthier response rather than acting impulsively. So think about being, as a company, being proactive and not so reactive.
Yeah.
Motivation goes a long way, using your emotions to drive you towards goals, maintaining resilience, and staying committed in the face of adversity. And then lastly, you've got empathy and social skills. So empathy is understanding the emotions, needs, and perspective of others, which helps in building stronger connections. Yeah. And those social skills helps with managing relationships, communicating effectively, handling conflict, and also influencing others positively.
You know, it's actually kind of interesting that that last bit right there, when I was talking about emotional intelligence in this leadership development course I just did, I had an individual say, well, isn't it just emotional manipulation? And it just really struck me. I thought, no, like, what? Like, no, it's not manipulative at all. Like, and my counter was, if that is the way you want to think of it, I can't really stop you, but I'd prefer you use the term emotional influence, because manipulation just has such a negative connotation to it. But I don't know, like, we could go down that rabbit hole sometime, but I just thought that was a fascinating way to look at this. I'm like, boy, no, not, what?
and really from the viewpoint and the idea of emotional intelligence itself, that word influence is supposed to be a positive approach versus, just that other example of the manipulation part, where no, you're trying to essentially get through conflict, use your communication skills to persuade someone to, let's say, go along with something. Maybe it's a new business venture. Maybe it's a new plan at work that you've come up with. The corporation says, hey, this is our new policy. And so you're essentially just trying to persuade them of this is why we're doing it
Yeah.
for these reasons. It's not you should
Yeah.
do this because I said so.
Yeah, or like coercing them, like, hey,
Correct.
like, yeah. I think just that in mind is what made it so interesting. But no, thank you so much for going over. Like, that's a real bird's eye view of what emotional intelligence is, because you said it earlier. Like, there's so many different faces and angles. Like, you can go really deep into this specific topic. So I just really like the idea of possibly just from a fundamental surface level conversation, giving our listeners this look into something that they might hear in the workplace, but maybe don't have an understanding of what it is. And especially if I may just kind of get a little vulnerable, I guess, if you want, but I just feel like every day recently, the news sucks. Like, there's just all this volatility going on in the world that I thought this would be a really good thing for us to talk about, as just a way to kind of keep ourselves emotionally in check and to just be aware of how we can impact others.
I love it. I think that's great. Yeah.
So you mentioned about having this certification and having, all of this time under your belt. You have got to have methods or kind of go-to strategies or ways to not only just engage groups in this, but like, how do you get them to understand it in a way that they can absorb it and walk away kind of utilizing it either right away or over a short period of time?
Yeah. I think first thing, just take a deep breath. I
don't know how to do that. No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, to answer your question, Steve, I would say there's a handful of things kind of just on the top of my head here and focusing on the work I did with the emotional intelligence certification.
Yeah.
And that is first focusing on active listening. Okay. Those skills go a long way. So whether or not you're focusing on something work related or you're having a conversation with something about that's going on in the world today, active listening to what the person is saying, acknowledging that you heard what they said, and not just waiting on the edge of your seat for a chance to pounce on them with your response. Just have a respectful conversation, have that healthy dialogue. This isn't about, and I've said this on here before, when I do a training, I'm not trying to persuade the audience to believe what I do. It's trying to take steps towards the middle. You're not going to, especially if it's a polarizing topic, you're never going to, most likely, you're never going to be holding hands on that bridge. But the idea is that you are on opposite sides. You start to walk towards one another because there's that mutual respect and an understanding of where people are coming from. That's a big part of where the empathy comes from. I don't have to agree with what you're saying, but if I have a better idea of where you are coming from, that at least will give me an idea of why you feel that way, why you said that, why you think that way.
Do you mind if I interject on something?
Yeah, please.
Because I think something you said is fascinating and just triggered something in my brain. And that is, I don't know if it's just the way the world is currently, or if this is something that has been in society for, I don't know, whatever, decades perhaps. I have no idea. And that is, I feel like individuals have this odd sense that if they understand where someone's coming from, that means they agree with them. Like, do you guys see where I'm going with this? Where it's like, you and I can have different opinions. Like, I can feel one way about something, you can feel another way. But if I see where you're coming from, I'm almost giving you validity. Like, oh, well, since I can see where you're coming from, that means that you must be right. Do you see? Like, I don't know.
I get that.
Do you notice that?
I get that I get that to a point. I think it's more so from what I see is that people don't want to agree on certain things because then it feels like they're giving up a part of them.
I think that's you. I'm sorry, you worded it far better than I did. That's really what I was going for.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this,
yes.
This, if I say I understand where you're coming from, that's like them omitting, like, oh well, I'm just, I guess my side isn't as strong as I thought. No,
Right.
That's just saying I get it. I understand what you mean. Like a case in point example, like a dumb example. I talked earlier about me being an Android phone person, right? My wife, she's an iPhone enthusiast. I know. Hold the God.
Standing applause.
All right. Yeah. Okay. She needs that. Yeah. The good thing is she's going to hear you do that too. When she listens next episode. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's okay. I'm here all day.
Hey, we got Helen K listening. It's fine.
Yes, we do. We have Helen K. So here's the thing. I know that Samsung isn't for everybody. Like, I just happen to enjoy it. I like the way the interface is. I like that it's customizable. Like, I like those different features. My wife loves the fact that iPhone is simple to use. It's very user friendly for her. It's not, this is going to come out wrong, but I don't mean it. They're like, it's not deep in the sense of like, oh, like you're really like having to tunnel down and do things. It's like, oh, I open a box, here it is, bing, bang, boom, it's done. It's quick and it's efficient. Like, she likes that. Great. I can understand that she feels that way. I personally have tried using an iPhone. I got one for work once, and it was the biggest paperweight I've ever had in my life. I was like, I didn't even know. I felt like I was trying to use something written in a foreign language. It was just the worst experience. I hated it. But I can understand why she likes it. I can understand the allure that it has. Does not mean I am abandoning my post of liking Android more. It just means I understand how others might like it in a different way.
Well, you're offending me. I don't like your Android. I don't like your Android attitude.
I didn't think I was being judgmental. I'm being honest. I don't know. Yeah.
I get it. And so I think the active listening skills that you just demonstrated in your example of speaking with you and your wife and the differences of your cellular devices, I think that's really good. And that's what you want to do, is be able to hear the other person's opinion. And again, doesn't mean you're going to be like, oh, that's a good point, let me go switch over.
Yeah.
It's, you've got your thoughts and opinions on that. And essentially that's the important part.
Yeah.
The other thing with that is kind of going back to emotional intelligence in just basic life or at work, is I love the idea of allowing room for silence or taking pause. So in our society, kind of what you were alluding to earlier, it's this whole, what have you done for me lately, and lack of patience society that we live in. Most of us don't like silence. We want to fill the void with our opinions. Instead, someone with high emotional intelligence allows room for silence to consider what the other person has said or about what they want to say next. It's thinking before you speak. So a couple other ways to demonstrate high emotional intelligence include the ability to handle stress. So as a people manager, being able to manage internal reactions to difficult situations, or even as an employee, associate level as well. Improving relationships, building trust and empathy with others, and then also enhancing the decision making. So using your emotions to constructively to make better choices.
Yeah. I think that's all. I will admit, I think our listeners would probably notice, perhaps, when you said this idea of allowing for silence. Yeah, believe it or not, listeners out there, as much as I am talkative on this podcast, and in my social life, I'm very talkative there too. I will take time to have those moments of quiet But on a podcast, those moments of silence don't exactly make for great listening pleasure. So Patrick and I tend to go like back and forth rapid fire rather quickly. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
But when we're off the air and we're talking, we will kind of give ourselves like, oh, yeah. Oh, like you kind of have those like that moment where you kind of me anyway, I always kind of look up to my right or my left, like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Interesting. And that's just my way of my brain kind of absorbing the content and getting a better understanding and kind of letting it wash over my thoughts. Yeah, I think those are great. Yeah.
And it goes back to the what I've shared out here as well. And I'm assuming you do this as well. But as far as when you're facilitating, so trying to collect yourself, what am I going to say next? Rather than just babbling on and mumbling and stumbling the way through, you have a better idea. Or let's take an interview, right? If you're about to answer those questions, you've heard the question. Now, instead of just sputtering off right away, you have to allow those few seconds just to think about what do I want to say? What bullet points do I want to hit? One, it makes you sound better. So if you allow room for silence, what I do when I am presenting and I feel a or a but coming on, I will pause and then get my words out that way. It's just a strategy I like to use so it comes off a little bit more.
Sure. Very
cleaner.
Deliberate. Very Correct. Deliberate in your delivery.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Even on the note of facilitating, if you ask the audience questions, allow that silence.
Yes.
It's so wildly powerful. You don't have to poke and pry. Typically, what is it they usually say? There's a hard line number. Let's call it 5 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
It usually does not take that long, though. You're looking roughly about 2 to 3 seconds. Somebody cracks.
As long as you've got the open-ended questions. Okay.
Oh, of course.
Yes. And then I've used the phrase just because once the audience knows me pretty well and they know my sense of humor, I'll say something which I used to say to like the 3rd and 4th graders is I'll wait. Or I'll say not all at once.
See, I love that one. Not all at once. Or it, like you said, they get your humor. I'll throw not all at once out, or I will toss out the geez, take a number, everyone, one at a time.
I like that.
And that usually gets a solid laugh. And then seconds later, somebody, I think this.
See, you're working on your material too. I know you were giving me I was thinking back to some of our previous episodes recently, and what I mentioned on one of the episodes, I was working on my stand-up material while I was training.
I don't know. The way I look at it is if you can't laugh at your own jokes and you're facilitating, then what's the point? You have to entertain yourself a little bit too. Can't always rely on the group to do it. Sometimes you get those groups that are just on fire and they're a lot of fun and you just find yourself laughing with them too.
Yep.
Oh, those are the best groups ever. Absolutely. But otherwise, you have to kind of make your own fun. That's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Those were awesome, great examples, nice, easy, digestible ways to get somebody just to understand more about this really robust topic in a nice, simple way. Oh, I can walk away with knowing I just need to be better at listening. And once you get better at listening, you will find that you're not so stressed out about how you will respond to things because now you have all the information. You've given yourself that opportunity by listening and engaging in a nice, cohesive conversation. And that will help improve your relationships. That's what I love about these kinds of topics is that each piece feeds into the next or the previous. Like there's this system where they just kind of slowly thread through one another. I'm a sucker for that. Every time I give some form of a presentation, I love pointing those things out. Like, notice how this ties into this, and into this, into this, into this, into this. Like, there's a thread. There's a commonality that's taking place. And every now and then I'll get one person, oh, That's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, though. You made a good point.
Have you ever heard the analogy of the thermometer and the thermostat as a way to convey emotional intelligence?
I haven't.
Well, I'm going to tell you all about
Perfect. Great.
it. I first and foremost, I have to come clean. I did not create this. I wish I did, but it was sadly and truthfully, this was something that was conveyed to me by a much smarter and far more emotionally stable friend of mine at the time, especially. He's the one that walked me through this. And the way he did it is he actually gifted me with a thermometer, like an actual in the package. It would be like, and it's kind of like a big thermometer too, like one you'd put in like a cooler at a restaurant, like one of those. Like,
oh wow.
so like a real big one, so you can see it from a distance. Like, oh, it's 36 degrees in here or something like that. So what he did and I'll kind of set the scene here. I received a promotion at work, and he gave me his little gift bag, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I open it, and there is a thermometer. And I'm like, wow.
Thank you.
Okay.
I love it.
And I thought like maybe it was like some joke that I didn't get or whatever. No, this was his very wise way of conveying a life lesson to me that I still hold true to today as best as I can. And he'd said, to the best of your ability as a leader, you do not want to be the thermometer. So I want you to have this as something to remind you of that. Because a thermometer is an individual in an organization or in social circles or in a family. It doesn't matter. They are the individual that simply just reacts to the environment. A thermometer cannot change the temperature in the room. It simply tells you what the temperature is in the room. And since it doesn't have the power to change it, it just does what it does best, and that is it just screams that information and that information only. But it's working with incomplete information because it's easy to manipulate a thermometer. You can have a room that's really hot and put a thermometer near a bag of ice, and that will read cooler than the rest of the room.
Yeah.
Don't be the thermometer. Instead, you want to be the thermostat. And the thermostat is somebody that is even-keeled and has a greater understanding of the big picture. And they do this by being able to take the information they are given and try to make the environment as calm and comfortable for everybody as it can. Now, it understands that it can't control everything, but it will try to control what it can and make things more effective and comfortable for everyone. I hope that makes sense. And I'm really kind of beating it down on there, but the idea is to see that these two different dynamics, they serve similar functions. If you look at a thermostat, it will tell you the temperature, but you can also input what temperature you want, where a thermometer cannot change that. It will just only tell you. So as leaders, or as somebody that hopefully aspires to be in those kinds of positions, or you work with people like, Patrick, you work with facilitating groups all the time. You work with larger organizations. Being that thermostat means that people will look up to you as somebody that's in control, where a thermometer is not. It's just reactionary.
I love that. That's a really good analogy.
Yeah.
You were kind of speaking my language, because just as far as how I even view the world, you mentioned one of my favorite phrases: control what you can. I Absolutely love that phrase. I've
Yeah.
been using that kind of as my mantra for well over 5 years. I even have a tattoo that is the title of a book called "Stillness is the Key," and that's how I kind of again tribute to just wanting to again be a little more even keel. Yes, I still get passionate about things, obviously,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
my work getting worked up meter is pretty low. Where I don't let things. I do let some things bother me, but again, I know that okay, what can I do in this situation to make things better? Do I need to speak out? Do I need to rally the troops and make sure everyone's on the same page? So kind of what you were mentioning there too with facilitation. There might be a really uncomfortable topic that I have to facilitate. Now
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I can come in and be the drill sergeant and be like, yeah, too bad, this is what we do here. Or I can be a little bit more empathetic, use some emotional intelligence to present the information in a safe and comfortable way that a majority of the individuals in there will say, yes, I understand that.
Yeah.
So I love that the thermometer versus thermostat. That's super awesome. Now, here's the one concern.
Do go on.
My apartment has a radiator.
Oh.
There's just a little knob to keep turn. No, I digress. No, I think that his analogy is really cool. I wasn't sure where you were going with that because I understand the difference between the two, but I really like that as far as the emotional intelligence goes and who do you want to be, especially as a people leader. You have to be that thermostat.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of your employees are going to be those thermometers, but hopefully you do have a handful of thermostat employees as well. But you're always going to have some of those thermometers, and it's not just setting the room comfortably. It's making sure that they're not the ones that are going to be making it super hot or super cold. So
yes, you're right, and you raise a valid point in that leaders of any variety, and I say that specifically because I don't think this is just a professional conversation. I think this is a conversation that you can use if you're with a group of friends and maybe, I don't know, whatever, it's politics or what, something comes up that heats things up, that changes the temperature of the room. And you're going to get those individuals that just simply react to that temperature. It's important, and you will find it is far more beneficial to try to at least be that thermostat and just be like, okay, hold on here, folks. Is this worth the conversation right now? Like, you will find people will gravitate towards that type of mentality because there's structure to it. There's a power that emanates from just having that emotional control and being mindful of how others are being impacted too. And interesting when you mentioned about having individuals that might report to you as thermometers, chances are they are. And I'm not saying that as an insult.
No.
But the important thing of being that thermostat leader is that you, even if they're in the red, like they're a full-on hot thermometer, you as the thermostat have the ability to cool things down and regulate that temperature by being emotionally intelligent. And vice versa. If they're lackadaisical about something, they're cold on it, you have the opportunity to raise them up by heating the room and getting them excited for something. Like, it goes both ways.
Yeah,
it's just
for sure
how you utilize it. Yeah. When truth be told, that thermometer, ever since he gave it to me, I have it in every office I have. I'll put it out, and especially when I start somewhere or people come by my office, it's one of the first things they notice. They kind of stare. They're like, what's with the thermometer? I'm like, oh, strap in. I'm going to tell you a story. And it is. Every time I tell them the story, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, yeah. See, I'm not just a one-trick pony.
I got 2 tricks. I got 2.
Patrick.
Yes.
Do you know who is always emotionally aware of themselves, but maybe not their surroundings?
I believe you are referring to a little thing we call the spin-a-rooski.
Spin-a-rooski. You would be correct. That is indeed what I'm talking about. And folks, while Patrick readies the wheel, I'll explain to those of you that are just joining us what the Spinnerooski is all about. See, each episode we take a moment, we spin the Spinnerooski. This is a wheel with a host of names that could potentially be associated with the unknown woman that gave Patrick and I the greatest gift of all, the Ugly Club. And as Patrick had once recently mentioned, without the Ugly Club, grossly competent most likely would not be a thing. So, we want to make sure that we thank her personally and by name. Patrick, is the wheel ready?
In 3, 2, 1, spin. How exciting.
It is?
Samantha.
Oh my goodness, Samantha. Can we call her Sammy?
We can.
Okay, good. Sammy, thank you so much for everything. You're the best. You're just a real delight. You know that, Sammy? Samantha, Sammy, whatever. You rock. You are awesome. Thank you for living rent-free in our heads. Thank you for giving us the Ugly Club and this podcast. Just kind of the way it all went down. So thank you. Thank you for everything. Patrick, is there anything you would like to say to Samantha?
You're the best. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for all that wonderful stress and anxiety. But I know you had great intentions. They weren't maybe they weren't demonstrated that night, but we wouldn't have a podcast without you. So we appreciate you.
We all know her intentions, and it was to talk to Mr. Joe. So that's
Silver
nice.
Fox. Silver Fox.
The Silver Fox still reigns. And by the way, I am so sorry. I never said thank you, Mr. Patrick, for giving us your wisdom on emotional intelligence. Because what you said was awesome. It was direct to the point. It gave a really nice context. So thank you. I'm so sorry that I forgot to say that earlier.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I didn't want you crying.
Oh, well, now, you know what, Steve? You're starting to raise the temperature in here, okay?
No, I'm not. This is fine. This is just fine the way it is.
It feels about 300 degrees in here, and I'm not just saying that because we're all currently living in hell.
I would take 300 degrees compared to the negative 25 that it's right now. So, God in heaven.
It's never ending.
Oh.
On that note, that about does it for this episode. Yeah. We want to thank you, everyone out in listener land, for joining us on the Grossly Competent podcast. If you like what you're hearing and want to support the show, here are the best ways possible. Steve.
You can subscribe, follow, and give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can visit us on Buzzsprout at grosslycompetent.buzzsprout.com. Here, you can become an active supporter and help us with the show. Every cent counts, and it's appreciated. Give us a shout out on Instagram at handle @grosslycompetent. Email us directly, if that is your jam, at grosslycompetent@gmail.com. Otherwise, what we would love more than anything, is for you to just tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. You have a super awesome learning and development person at your company. Tell them about this podcast. Spread the word. We would love it.
And we appreciate all of you all the time. Any form of support you can provide means the world to us. This truly is a labor of love, and we thoroughly enjoy bringing it to you each and every week.
We really do. Honest to goodness. Patrick, do you have a shout out for this fine week at all?
Silver Fox, man. I'm going to keep riding that train.
I'm going to keep riding that Silver Fox. Well, I would like to give a shout out to our good friends in Stowe, Ohio. I've been seeing them that they're active listening in the last 2, 3, 4 episodes, and I just wanted to give them a nice little shout out. Say thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Feel free to tell your friends and family as well. Let's keep that keep the word alive and spreading in Stowe, Ohio.
Love it.
I like that. So cheers to you. Cheers to you guys.
Stowe, Ohio, and Winter Garden, Florida. Great little names.
I don't know.
For some
Listeners, I'm going to level with you. I will look at the name of the city and go oh, that's cool. And that's the way I choose some of my shout outs. Just genuinely oh, that's a neat one.
Unless we get one from an obscure location, such as our Saudi Arabian friends and some of those
we have our Singaporean friend is still alive and kicking. They're doing great. They're crushing each and every episode, which is just awesome to see. I love how we originally thought that was a VPN ping. And once they reached out, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a real person. You have, folks, I can't stress this enough. Patrick and I are from little tiny towns in southeast Wisconsin. And the fact that somebody across this world is I got to listen to these guys talk. I don't believe it's real. It's just so crazy to me. But boy, does it just melt my heart and wet my whistle. It's incredible. I love it so much. Thank you guys.
And I will give a couple more shout outs while we're on this whole tangent.
Hell yeah, man.
Great.
Let's do it.
I really like to point out those that continuously listen. We really appreciate even if it's just an extra few people. So the first one will go out to my friend Scott in Muskego. Who is a active listener, and when him and I meet up for coffee every so often, he will drop little hints that he has listened. And
that's awesome.
It's so cool. And then also a newer listener, as we mentioned a couple times, Helen K, has been working her way through the catalog. And
Where's she now?
She is I believe a few episodes behind. So I'll have to check in, but I mean, it's a pretty good amount of episodes in a short amount of time, so it's always appreciated.
Wild.
And also, thanks, Mom and Dad.
Oh, that is what a treat. Mr. and Mrs. Aylshire, you are just, I love you guys. You're so wonderful. And just a real quick thing. You said Muskego, right?
Yes.
Okay. So for those of you that are not from the state of Wisconsin, that is a small town, southeast Wisconsin, Muskego. Yes. We have lots of names that are fun like that in this great state. But no, those are awesome shout outs, man. Those are great. Yeah, you should keep them running. I won't give this as a shout out. I think it was just more of a funny thing than anything. 2 days ago, excuse me. My wife and I and kids, we went over to some friends' houses. We're talking about planning our spring break trip. Mm-hmm. And I think midway through our kind of chit chat, Phil, a friend of mine, he mentioned a couple little tidbits from the show. And I went, oh, we've been listening. He goes, yeah. Most recent episode I was listening to was your Halloween extravaganza. I'm like, oh, too funny. That's awesome. And he was like, the funny thing is you started talking about how you had, what helped you come up with your costume. But I already knew that story. So I guess that's one of the penalties of being friends with a guy that does a podcast is you tend to hear the stories before they go live. It's well, I guess you just get to hear it twice. But I thought that was awesome. So great. Please keep listening. Love it, love it, love it. Well, I suppose that probably should do it for this episode, man. Hey?
I think so.
All right. thanks, ladies and gentlemen, uggos of all varieties. That does it for this episode. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time.
Peace.
Out.
Nailed it. Good
So
stuff.
dumb.
Good
So dumb, but I love it.